Hillsborough in December 1995 saw Sheffield Wednesday take on Coventry City, with both teams desperate for a win. David Pleat's Yorkshire outfit had made an indifferent start to the season and were in 16th place, just 2 points above the relegation zone. Coventry, managed by former Sheffield Wednesday boss Ron Atkinson, were bottom of the Premiership. Alarmingly, they were looking for their first win in 14 games. Goal scoring had been Wednesday's major problem, with only 2 in their previous 6 home fixtures, so the timely return of David Hirst was welcomed by the home fans. He'd been out with a neck injury. Coventry's only Premier League win had come in the opening fortnight of the season. They welcomed back ex-Crystal Palace stars Richard Shaw and John Solarco. 38-year-old Gordon Strachan was on the bench. A vibrant atmosphere despite the woes of the two teams. Commentary from John Helm.
So the match underway, with Richardson playing the first pass of the evening. And then the ball forward, encouraging Undlow to give chase, covered by Nicol, and Undlow gets a ball in, but it wasn't an altogether convincing clearance from Walker. Forward again from Richardson. That's good control. Lovely piece of football by Solarco, supported down that flank by Paul Williams. Nolan's clearance. And this is familiar territory, of course, for the Coventry manager, who was the manager here. He took Sheffield Wednesday to the Rumbelows Cup final, as it then was, and they won it too against Manchester United. Pickering once again. That's a better ball. He finds Undlow, who so enjoys running at defenders, but got that all wrong. Made a present of the ball. Nolan. Atherton supporting. Here goes Peter Atherton, Wednesday's player of the year last year. Knocks it through, and here's a chance for Mark Bright straight away. Spins away, still the chance must be here. Oh, what a disappointing finish that was from De Gruyter. What a chance for Wednesday, really, there. And one that was spurned. At the other end, away goes Undlow. Cross ball in, and danger at both ends in the space of 30 seconds. But that was a real opening which Wednesday failed to take. This time Dublin's pass too short. Atherton, who really instigated that move, which almost led to a goal. And I can't help thinking if the ball had come to Hirst in the situation in which De Gruyter found himself, it would have been a goal, but the Belgian failed to make a good contact. Rennie, driven up towards the edge of that penalty box. That's Briscoe's tackle. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 0. And neither side gaining the ascendancy as yet, though Wednesday have had the best opening. And now it's Coventry's turn to look for a goal. Briscoe can only put it back. It went straight to the foot of Telfer. And then here's Telfer again. Former Luton man trying to embarrass his old manager David Pleat. Here's a good run from Pickering. This is a decent setup. Headed out by Atherton. Pickering again. Easily read by Walker though, and Wednesday break with Waddle. Rennie read that well. And they just keep this in, Undlow. There was no pace on the ball, and so Undlow attacks again and drives the ball straight at the Wednesday defender who was covering. Too much of a chase, I fancy this for Hirst. Hall with this free kick for Coventry. Neither side able as yet to make a breakthrough. De Grace heads away and flicked on by Hurst, and now Hurst will get through the middle, but easily enough Pickering nods it straight back to his keeper. Ready. It's an intelligent ball. Undlove taking it on the chest, and now Telfer hitting it in here. There's a good chance for Williams. He just made the slightest of connections, but credit to Steve Nicol getting back there to body check Williams and make sure he didn't get any strength into his effort. Lovely ball initially, swung over by Telfer. Dion Dublin laying it off, and as well played Nicol, really. Williams hooked it the wrong way, but it was okay because it went to Solarco. Now Richardson. Here comes Pickering. Coventry with 3 men around the edge of that penalty box, and Dublin's the tallest man in there, and it's belted over the top of his own bar by Ian Nolan. That could have been a spectacular own goal. Anyway, Pickering it is who hoists the ball up there. They're very aware of the height of Dion Dublin Wednesday. Paul Telfer, one of those in there. And Solarco. Oh, is it? Oh, off the line. No, the referee gives the goal. The ball had crossed the line, and Dion Dublin claims it. 17 minutes gone. A goal for Dion Dublin of Coventry. And although it was hooked out off the line, Mr. Reid was in perfect position to say that that is a goal. This is the best view you'll get of it. The ball was over the line, as you can see, by some margin. So goal number 7 of his season for Dion Dublin. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry City 1. Williams, and it's just toe poked back to Pressman. Bright won it. The little knockdown is from Hurst. Off and really caught asleep, and they might suffer the consequences. Undlove misses the chance, and what a good chance as well. Boos around Hillsborough though. Poor play between Des Walker and Lee Briscoe. Really opened the way for Undlove. There was the ball. Walker stood back. Undlove went on his way and missed. And what a let-off for Wednesday that is. Peter Undlove finding goals rather hard to come by at the moment. He's not scored, not in open play, in the last 11 games. Now the back heel from Pickering. That works out too, and everything's working out for Coventry at the moment. It's a better pass. Briscoe. And he's beaten his way through this time very well. Cuts it back in. Great chance here. Surely a goal. Guy Whittingham with the equaliser. He scored at Coventry. That proved to be a winner. And he scored again tonight. And didn't Briscoe do well? 25 minutes gone. Just the boost Wednesday needed. And it's Guy Whittingham who gives them it. Briscoe here really had to battle to get the better of Pickering. He held him off, pulled the ball back in. It got a slight touch on from Whittingham, and it was a perfectly timed and sweetly executed equaliser for Sheffield Wednesday. Briscoe. Again, Briscoe's done well. Waddle, can he open the door? Decent ball in, headed away by Rennie, and then Pickering. Whoops! Good evening, Chris Waddle, saying hello to the cameraman. Whittingham thumps in another pile driver. Well, he must look forward to the fixture list every year and say, when are we playing Coventry? Because he certainly knows how to find the net against them. And this effort flies only just too high. Dublin gets himself free from these pursuers, finds Salako. John Salako shot, whips in, he couldn't hold it, Pressman, and Dion Dublin wraps it into the back of the net, and Coventry have the lead back, courtesy of a horrid mistake by Kevin Pressman. Well, that was so simple for Dion Dublin. He started it. Salako, it's a scything shot. The turf may be a little greasy because it has been raining. Pressman spilled it and Dublin said thank you. So 8 minutes before half time, Coventry regained the lead in the most simple of fashions. Ron Atkinson must be pleased with the start Coventry have made, and generally he's always done well when he's come back to Hillsborough. Atherton. It's a neat header. Opens the way for the cross ball. It's a great chance. Mark Bright follows in. 2-2. And it's raining goals at Hillsborough. It's the perfect riposte. 2 minutes after going behind again, David Hirst pops the ball into the back of the Coventry net. It's the 101st goal of his career, and could he have had an easier one? It's just as easy as the one Dion Dublin scored 2 minutes before that. Bright will feel he should have scored. There was no stopping Hirst. Hirst played a lovely pass out there this time for Nolan. Both sides showing much more idea in attack than in defence. And it's whipped back in here. Whittingham takes it on. Just couldn't quite turn on it for a shot. So Nolan crosses again. Oh, and it's flashed a foot wide by Mark Bright. Wednesday almost in front for the first time on the evening. Nolan's service and a flick of the head from Bright, Wednesday's top scorer in the last 3 seasons. It would have beaten Ogrizovic, but it was the wrong side of the upright. Coventry, the last act of an eventful half though. Nobody complained. No complaints about the lack of incident. The half-time score at Hillsborough is Sheffield Wednesday 2, Coventry City 2. Away we go then for the second half at Hillsborough. 2-2, a feast of goals already, and who would say that there aren't more to come? Strange game in many ways. It's been studded with some bad passing and some bad marking, but you can't complain at having 4 goals. That's what people pay their money for after all. Waddle found his man Briscoe, did well to keep that in. Wasn't an easy ball to control. Tests his pace against Pickering. Waddle again, sizes it up, a great chance for Hirst to, and then off his own bar by Richard Shaw. What an incredible game this is, littered with mistakes. I was amazed when Hirst didn't really attack the net himself. He left that job to Richard Shaw. Now Hirst goes on a rampaging run. Typical David Hirst, that, taking on Pickering. Now getting the ball in. Whittingham's header straight at Ogrizovic. And Whittingham could have had a hat-trick. There he is now with Briscoe. Walker in the opposition half, that's a rare sight. Straight out from the big boot of Steve Ogrizovic. And Bright waits, gets the cushion header towards Hirst. Now De Gracer hammers in the shot. Down goes Ogrizovic to make another save in this game, which is a pulsating one in many ways, simply because it's producing so much goalmouth action. It may be a game littered with errors, but the chances are coming thick and fast. Dublin's header lofted straight onto the boot of Briscoe this time. Breasted down by Bright. Wednesday seem to have more bodies around at the moment. This is Waddle, lovely ball in there, just too much on it. It was Nolan who'd got forward, stolen into space in the penalty area. Oh, and that's disappointing for Wednesday, because they had a break on there. However, Nolan accepts it cheerfully. Coventry's free kick. It's neatly played. And he hits a long ball up here now. It's beyond Dublin, and it's Nolan who heads out. Corner kick. And Wednesday looked very unconvincing in trying to defend against corners. So Pressman and co have to guard their net. And it's there again, it's that man. Hat-trick for Dion Dublin. Terrific moment for Dion Dublin. It's the third time he's given his side the lead tonight. Twice from headers at corners. Pressman going the wrong way. Helpless. Flicked on by David Rennie. Dion Dublin in the perfect place. And it's a hat-trick for the big man. And by Bright. So can somebody come to Wednesday's salvation again? Whittingham, the man who got the first equaliser, hounded out of it. An hour played. Coventry have their noses in front for the third time. Well, yesterday it was Les Ferdinand on the mark with a couple, Dean Holdsworth with a couple in the Newcastle-Wimbledon game at Selhurst Park. Today is very much Dion Dublin's day. What a great back pass again to Pressman. He makes light of it. And it's knocked down for De Gruyter. Here might be a chance for David Hurst. Tries to find the Belgian again in there. And Hall cuts it out. Hurst knows Bright's up there, and here comes Mark Bright. Should have been 3-3, it is now. Mark de Gruyter. But this incredible game takes yet another twist. But it was just so easy again. Hurst looked up, saw Mark Bright in there. There were two defenders, including Richard Shaw there. Bright got up, Shaw never challenged him, Grizovic kept it out. De Gruyter put it in. 6 goals on the night already, but Bright found space so easily, and Grizovic must wonder what on earth's going on in front of him. Salako's throw. Undlove available. Hooked away, not convincingly, and now it's Williams' turn. Maybe he'll have a go from here. Curls the shot in, Pressman makes the stop. I've lost count of the number of goal attempts we've had this evening, but it's a very high tally, that's for sure. Williams creating the space, taking on Atherton. Curled it wide of Nicol, but not wide of Pressman. Into the foot of Waddle. And he knows that the ball, if it's in the air, will pose a problem for Coventry. And he might put another one up. Yes, he does. That's the clear message. There was Bright, and he was onside that time. Just failed to make contact. No wonder Grizovic is bawling at the defenders in front of him. He's just got no cover at all. And Waddle has clearly got a message to say, hurl those crosses in. Bright just couldn't get there. Plenty of time for Rennie. Oh, and he gives it away. He could suffer the consequences. On goes David Hurst. He's got it onto his right boot. Hurst shot off the upright, the inside of it. Bright might still tee somebody up. Oh, and it's sliced wide this time by Guy Whittingham. I think that's the first mistake David Rennie has made, but it could have been a calamitous one for Coventry. Wednesday should have been ahead for the first time on the night from David Hurst. He's got a good chance here carved his way through, slams it against the inside of the upright, and a little closer to Bright it would have been curtains for Coventry. Bad miss by Whittingham. Hurst on to Whittingham. Hurst waiting for a second nibble at the cherry maybe, but Williams in the end plays it back for his goalkeeper. Oh, a very unconvincing clearance again from Agrizovic. And a poor pass there from midfield, presenting the ball back to Sheffield Wednesday. Up it goes from Pressman, on by Bright. Here's De Gruyter. Didn't quite get the better of Hall, but it is a Wednesday throw-in, and you feel that Wednesday are in full cry now, and hunting out what could be the decisive goal. In from Nolan, on goes Nolan again, must tee something up here surely. Nolan, it's in! It's 4-3 Wednesday, it's Mark Bright. A quite incredible game. Full credit to Ian Nolan here. And Mark Bright at last gets his just desserts. Bright has set up 2 of the Wednesday goals. Now he gets one for himself. He just got in front of Shaw. And Wednesday are in front for the first time on this amazing night. 4-3. Pressman! Under great duress there. He couldn't hold on, but neither could Dublin force it through, and the goal kick is given. Dublin had stayed onside. He's such a menace in the air. Well, I would think that David Pleat now will be thinking of, we've got the lead, hold it, and tell his players to be a little more conservative. Coventry have proved themselves incapable of holding a lead. Let's see if Wednesday can do any better. They have to defend against Salako this time. Probably the quickest player on the field. And he's got a free kick out of this situation. And a yellow card shown to Peter Atherton. Well, Salako might be thinking that he hit a low shot in which Pressman couldn't hold, but instead he hoists it up there for Williams. Now Dublin. The man who's really spearheaded Coventry's drive to win this match with his hat-trick. It's always tough on a player who gets a hat-trick and ends on the losing side, but that could happen to Dublin. Richard Shaw's had another uncomfortable night in a Coventry shirt. Strachan now. Underloff came to help him. This is Richardson, former Everton and Aston Villa man. Knocks one up there for Dublin, and a rather stumbling and an awkward back header from Dion Dublin. Now Salako trying to get the better of Nolan, and he does that. He's done well here, Salako, and it's clawed out of the air by Pressman. It's good work from Salako. Coventry must have been so hopeful of getting the break that they need when Dublin got that third goal. But they've not been able to find a way through again since, and that wonky defence of theirs has let them down again. There have been some crazy goals really on the night. Most of the goals down to poor defending rather than sublime attacking. On goes De Gruyter. Bright, De Gruyter again. Through from Hyde out to Hurst. We've played a minute of time added on. Wednesday keep possession with Nolan now. That's all they have to do. The onus is on Coventry to win the ball back. And Sheffield Wednesday take the spoils. And you have to feel some sympathy for Dion Dublin. He's got a hat-trick away from home and still ended up on the losing side. So Sheffield Wednesday finds some relief. Coventry City are still rooted at the foot of the Premier League table, however, and so the 3 points go to Sheffield Wednesday. The final score, Sheffield Wednesday 4, Coventry City 3.
Dion Dublin's first Premiership hat-trick, not enough to put him on the winning side. The Sky Blues eventually finished 16th. Wednesday went on to score 6 at home against Leeds and 4 against Bolton during the festive period, but in the end they only finished one place above Coventry in 15th.